Can't you see it? The distance in between us is teaching us harmony with Mother Venus. If your intention is to dream, imagine they imagine me.
See, like a jungle. There's a short kind of like trail to like a temple. Daytime, I also see like rice paddy fields. It's a temple. I see food dogs at the entrance to the temple, like the statues, and like a red carpet going into the sacred space.
Excellent. And if you're invited or able to, go ahead and enter or go up to the temple now. Notice what you would be wearing. What would you look like?
See like gold and red, like kind of like monk.
Okay, very good. And in this temple, is this where you stay or where you go often or
Think I stay there, but I'm not always. It's like I stay somewhere near there, but this is like a place for like praying. There's like a lot of gold and a lot of candles and stuff.
And what I'd like to do next is when I snap my fingers, we'll move to a moment or scene where perhaps you're doing a ritual or a ceremony in this temple. So we'll move to that scene. 1, 2, 3.
I'm holding incense in between my hands and kind of like chanting and like rocking back and forth.
Feel the intention. Are there others around?
There's one other person, the person who invited me in. It's like an elderly monk, someone who takes care of this place.
Is he a mentor or teaches you or a guide?
I feel like he's more of a steward of the facility.
Okay. And as you're there with him doing this ceremony with the incense, feel the sensations and the intention. What would this moment be for?
It's something about like ancestors and paying homage to them. It's kind of like a Shinto, but it's just not Japanese. This is like Chinese or even old out Indian or something, but like it's got the vibes of a Shinto, which is like a Japanese house for your ancestors. It's like if you like pay homage to them, then they give you good luck, kind of.
And as you're there with the elder monk, I'd like for you to move to a scene where you're with that elder monk or another mentor that teaches you something, like a guide. And so I'd like you to be with that person. 1, 2, 3.
It's the same monk, but we're sitting in lotus position facing each other.
And I'd like for you to ask them a question. Are there any messages for you now?
I just said, "Why am I here?"
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "You're here to understand why you made the decisions that you made."
What does that mean? Ask him for more depth on that answer.
He's saying everything has already happened. You're here to understand why. It's like an investigation. It's like everything's already happened. Time and space is an illusion. This experience is to understand why. Why is your destiny your destiny?
And what is most important for Banks to understand at this moment?
He said you don't need to know this yet.
Well, what would be best for him to know?
He said, "You are a lighthouse." He said, "In this lifetime, you are a human, but in future lifetimes, you will be more of a guide that returns. It appears to be in human form, but it isn't."
And so in this lifetime, you're a light for those that are dim, helping awaken.
Yeah, for those drifting in the sea.
And what is most relevant for Banks's destiny in this life? What should he focus on?
No, you can't deny your destiny. The heart is the seat of destiny. It's a compass.
After Banks fulfills his destiny, in future lives, he'll be more of a guide with different abilities, or
So I just had a very clear vision that I'm actually wearing kind of like royalty stuff. I'm not a monk. I am kind of like a ruler in training. Yeah, I was like given a lot. I didn't have to work hard for a lot of things. And now in this lifetime, like this past life, I'm seeking higher knowledge because I know there must be something more. And he's basically telling me to like chill out because I that like more is coming, and this isn't the first time I will become enlightened.
Very good. Understand that completely, fully, absorbing. And when I snap my fingers, we'll move to another scene in that lifetime. Perhaps as the ruler or making decisions, an important day will move to an important day. 1, 2, 3.
Discussing politics and a possible coup against me, conspiracy.
Some advisors are telling you that there's a possible coup against you.
Yes.
Okay. And well, let's back up a little bit. So move back a few days, months, or years and figure out what happened for you to get into that situation. What moments, decisions led up to that?
I want to abolish the system of the ruling class controlling the masses, and I've been working toward that. But the powers that be that make their life and their living off of controlling others will do whatever it is necessary to make sure that doesn't happen.
And what area of the world or country or place would you be in?
China.
Let's move forward back to that scene discussing politics. You're finding out about a possible coup.
It's like those that I bestowed upon power, like made them lords, gave them those that I trusted to do right with and gave them power and authority to help the people. Never had that intention. It's like my closest advisors are like, how could they, with the conditioning that they've been brought up in, the ones kind of looking out for themselves, not caring about the future generations or what happens after they're gone.
You see the higher perspective and you see through these.
I see it now, but like then I'm very sad that like those that I inspired through leading by example and them acting like they're absorbing that and going to do the same thing. But when it comes down to actually doing it, they're scared of the lack. They're scared of losing what they've obtained.
Let's go ahead and move forward when I snap my fingers and we'll see what ends up happening. Do we come up with a plan, take over, succeed? What ends up happening next?
An attack on my like palace. Lots of fire. It's like I know it's coming, but I don't care.
What do people call you?
Shinzao?
And so the attack is coming. You're still in the palace. What do you do next?
I'm just like chilling and meditating. I'm like waiting for them to come. I'm not trying to escape.
Do you know who's behind this?
Yeah, it was like a mentor of mine, and then I kind of became the master after he mentored me, and I came up, and then because of my success, then he was able to become a lord or a governor or something, kind of like off. I wanted him to be that. Like I was more than happy for that to happen for him.
And then he ended up causing this coup to happen.
Yeah. And he was able to convince others by lying about the date of a meeting that we had. He was like, "Oh, like we shouldn't do this thing anymore." And I was like, "I agree." And then, but he changed the date of that meeting to make it seem like it happened before. And then was like, "See, he was doing this even after we said we should stop doing it." And so that's how he got everybody else to agree in the conspiracy.
And does this person that was the mentor who backstabbing you, he remind you of anyone?
Yes. An old friend of mine named Adam.
And you can move forward or backward in these scenes. Is there any other relevant information you like to share?
Just that in the moment that he was about to kill me, which he does, we both knew the truth. And that I understood that he was only acting from a place of fear. He was scared.
And so, moving to the last moment of that lifetime now, you won't experience anything unpleasant. You're an observer. You can separate yourself. And what happens for the death scene?
Oh, he cuts my head off.
Okay, leaving the body, going up to the cloud. And when you think about that betrayal, Banks, the mentor of the friend who reminds you of Adam, are there any negative feelings associated with that still inside you somewhere? Is there any feelings of the sword cutting your throat? Is there any lingering feelings we'd like to get rid of?
No, there's like really not like any pain or anything. I mean, like it's like more of a sadness that for him that he could see no other way other than this, and there's so many other ways.
In that perhaps sadness, that feeling, if it were in your body, where would it come from if you pointed to an area?
Yeah, it's like the heart, maybe like it's like where the heart and solar plexus kind of meet.
Mm-hmm. And if you had to describe what it looks like to me, what color, texture, shape, or feeling would it have?
It's like a mixture of like green with like bright yellow. It's like an inward kind of void.
Yeah, and so what I'd like for you to do is on the exhale, I want you to remove all that green yellow feeling from the heart solar plexus area, putting it into a ball in front of you. So with each breath, a little bit more softens, and you can see the swirly green and yellow energy, emotion move out of you like a magnet is pulling it out of you. And with each breath, a little bit more as the area softens, feeling lighter. And let me know when it's in a ball in front of you, please.
It's done.
And now I'd like for you to notice it's spinning a direction. And I'd
Mm.
like you to reverse the spin, rotate it the opposite way, spinning it faster and faster and faster. You may begin to notice it change or transform, and you can make the ball smaller or larger with your mind. Distance as it double the spin until it takes on a life of its own now, spinning so quickly. Did you notice it change or stay the same?
It changed. Kind of looks like a moon, like a bright, sparkly, white, yellowish.
Yeah, very good. And what I'd like for you to do when you're convinced it's changed completely, we can throw it into outer space or put it back in that area to make it whole again. And when you do that, just say done or okay.
Done.
Feel the shift, feel the change. If you tried to bring that sad feeling back, you changed it. It's
Yeah.
gone. You deserve the royalty, all the love in the universe, and to trust people again until they give you a reason not to. Setting your boundaries. But you are free now. It's not yours to carry anymore. And your throat area that got that impact, you're free to speak again as well. And so let's move forward in time now. Forward and floating and drifting. Going to a future lifetime we love to visit to show Banks for his highest good. And the cloud is moving. It knows where to go. Now the cloud is slowing down and it's stopping. And I'd like for you to drift off the cloud, down, down, down. 3, 2, 1. We're there now.
I'm in a busy city with lots of, it doesn't even really feel like I'm on planet Earth, but it doesn't feel like I'm on a planet necessary. I'm on like a artificial world, space station kind of thing, but it's like, yeah, very futuristic.
Excellent. And what do you look like?
Yeah, it's like blue, avian kind of. Uh, it's like a mixture between like bird and reptile, but still kind of cute and also almost like translucent a little bit.
Are you male or female?
I'm male.
Are you young? Are you healthy? Or how else would you describe?
Yeah, I think I'm like around the same age that I feel now, maybe like in my mid 30s ish kind of a feeling.
Very good. And you're on this, perhaps, artificial station, whatever it is, in this beautiful spot. And I'd like you to move to another space or on this city or whatever it may be. Go to another spot that you really like to be in and spend a lot of time in now.
I'm in like a room of sorts, but there's like a big window and I can see planet Earth. It's kind of like similar to my space that I have now, where like lots of fun little trinkets and like cool, like witchy psychic kind of stuff, even though it's like not really familiar looking to me right now. But it's kind of got that same kind of like mystical incense kind of a feeling, except that there's a huge window and I can see planet Earth.
And move around your room, the trinkets. Notice any that really stand out to you. Maybe pick one up. Would you describe it as notice it? What's your favorite one or art or creative trinkets you have? What is it?
There's something that's like it's like a swinging kind of an instrument, almost like those things with the balls where they hit each other and they go back and forth, but it's not that. But it's something about momentum and the swinging kind of tick-tock motion of it. It seems to operate, and it's self-perpetuating, based on like physics or something. I don't know. But it actually looks really ancient, like something I might find like in Egypt or something.
Wonderful. In this ship, it seems, as you're in, let's go to a moment where you're with others. A happy day, a celebration, somewhere with others celebrating something now.
We're talking about like we've collected all these things from Earth, like throughout time, special things to like help us learn more about it. And then we're celebrating because, like, from our perspective, time isn't real. And we've been leaving kind of like these breadcrumbs throughout time and space on the stage that is Earth. And we're celebrating because we see that they're finally waking up to becoming a higher vibrational species. And it has to do with their work, but also the work that we've done, kind of like with a wink and a smile, leaving them Easter eggs.
So you're the presents you left are helping them awaken.
Yeah, yeah.
So you all want to see us succeed.
Yeah, you're like our inner child. It's like for us to heal, you have to heal. And we love seeing that.
Is that part of your mission there on the ship? Is to leave these breadcrumbs, these artifacts, and you do that? You can do that?
It feels more like a passion than like a job. I don't
Okay.
think we have jobs.
And so, if you were to do that and leave trinkets and breadcrumbs and knowledge, vibrations, whatever it is, let's go to a moment where you're doing that or you're orchestrating that. How would that work?
Yeah, we teleport through the kind of like the ley lines on planet Earth, like the pyramids and Stonehenge, geometry, architecture. At certain points, we can like literally just kind of slip in like a beam of light into the chambers of the pyramid and speak to whoever we need to speak to, but we can also kind of bury new things to be unearthed later.
I was wondering if you could go on a mission now and perhaps hide something or bury something for Banks or Jonathan to find.
Let's say that there's like certain things throughout all of existence that are persistent, that if you know what to look for, like throughout history, you'll find the same core answers kind of. Okay, I just had a very clear vision that I am planting literal plants. So I think this might have to do something with like sacred plant medicine, and that maybe we're botanists or facilitators of like putting consciousness into plants, certain teachers into plants. Almost like the plant medicine itself is a being, but the only way that it can manifest in the 3D is by coming to you through plant medicine.
And is this how we got our marijuana and psychedelics and DMT?
Yes. I just was told that marijuana was always here and it's a part of the earth, but many of the other hallucinogens and psychedelics were altered with from future timelines and brought back.
And which ones would you like Banks or Jonathan to find?
It's definitely the DMT based medicines like the ayahuasca, the NMDMT, and but they will mutate throughout time in ways that we can't possibly predict. And you will find new ways of using these medicines that appear in different things, like the 5-MeO DMT is only found in the venom of a toad. And like, we didn't do that, that happened naturally.
And is there any other breadcrumbs, plants, or objects, sacred geometry that we should pay attention to?
The spiral and the triangle. The triangle represents creativity, and it's like the mother, the father, the child. There's something about the third dimension, sacred geometry, and pyramids. And the spiral is a good way of explaining how history repeats and it can feel the same, but it's not. It's just another layer of the spiral, but because it's got layers underneath it and above it, it feels like the same thing that has already happened, but it's different.
And so let's go back to that spacecraft. And where would you go on that ship or realm to get healing? What would that healing room look like?
It looks very similar to like a healing room, kind of like on Earth, like India, kind of like a room that's like made of like, it's like the whole room is like a bed. It's like just cushions. Yeah, it's more natural than you would think. And there's like a hookah that I'm smoking, and it's like it's not like making me high. It's like almost breathing in vitality. It's like a liquid IV, except I'm smoking it. I have lots of arms, more than I thought.
Okay. Well, let's move away from this healing room when you're ready. So, moving away, and let's move to another scene. Perhaps you're using your arms or playing or manipulating energy. What would you do kind of for leisure or for fun? Would you make love? Would you meditate? What would you do for fun in this life?
It's very similar to what I do now, which is like, finding new sounds, playing instruments, and also like influencing the collective with authenticity, playfulness, a little bit unhinged.
Very good. And finding new sounds and instruments. What instrument? Go to a moment where you're playing an instrument.
It's like a it's like a saxophone mixed with a guitar.
Yeah.
It's like I play the sound through my mouth, but then it goes down it. But then if I use the strings, it manipulates the sound rather than like a saxophone. You would like press the little keys on it, kind of. But like this is like I'm blowing through it, which is making the sound. But then the strings, kind of like a cello. I'm like clicking the strings, which like gives it the different notes and tones.
And let's move away from the leisure scene and let's move to a spiritual day where you're connecting, where you're doing something for a higher purpose, a very spiritual moment. One, two, three.
I'm levitating in a place that like has stronger gravity than normal. So it's almost like I'm working out my spiritual abilities.
I've heard there's people that can levitate. Would you be able to levitate if you replicated that ability?
Yeah, and it's like while I'm there and I'm levitating and I feel resistance because it's like a higher gravity, I'm also realizing that like how easy it actually is. And like I have this feeling that's like I gotta teach people on Earth to do this because this is dope.
And so let's move to a moment where you're practicing your levitation either with a mentor or you're teaching others on the ship to levitate now.
Yeah, there's like it's like me and three others, and we're kind of surrounding like a column, but the column has like a light source. I don't know if this is like I think this might be the thing that's making the gravity stronger, but it's like we're all just sitting lotus levitating each like like one on each side of it, kind of like a cross. We're just What's interesting though is that only one of them is another alien. The other two are humans. It's almost like they're not really there. They just connected with us. Like me and the other alien are physically there, but the two like Japanese or Chinese monks almost are there in spirit, but not in physical form. So
Oh,
it's like we're teaching them, but they're also teaching us.
okay. And how would you describe how to levitate to someone who's new?
There's no such thing as empty space, and that magnetism, electromagnetism, it is all that is required. That when you grow your auric field, you simply compress the liminal space. There appears to be empty space, but it's just negative space. So when you push out your auric field, there's an equal and opposite reaction that allows you to levitate without physical effort.
This is something we could do if we practice.
Absolutely.
Very good. And what mindset do we need to be in? Are we connected, feeling the heart brain coherence? Like, we're still new humans at this. So,
Yeah, it's like you have to imagine that you aren't the body, but like the conductor of it, that you're just floating in your imagination. It's actually easier. So it's easier to levitate in a subjective reality, like with no one around, because the change becomes instant and your imagination isn't withheld by someone else's thought of their own subjective reality. But if you are going to levitate with others, you must levitate with others that are also completely unhinged and know that they are not the body and can imagine what it is like float and to levitate, and then that actually can manifest it in physical reality, objective reality, so that others can see it too.
excellent. Very good. So, we can practice that by sitting lotus style or with something behind our back and sitting upright.
Yeah, you can start out by leaning up against a wall in the lotus position. Also, using things like DMT can help you in the process to learn how to reach that frequency where essentially the floor doesn't exist.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah, if you put your back up against the wall, sometimes it's easier to kind of just like imagine your back actually touching the wall and like the friction, like you're almost kind of like using the wall as grip for your back to crawl up the wall. That can be a helpful visualization process. I
Moving.
just asked why though. I was like, but why? Like
Uh,
why levitate? And it said why not?
yeah, absolutely. Okay. And let's go to another important day. So let's go to an important moment. So, exciting day. One, two, three.
It's the day that we are projecting our consciousness down to Earth to participate in the building of the new Earth.
And are you putting your soul into a baby so you can incarnate, or what?
Yeah, and like lots of people wanted, lots of people signed up to do this, but not all were chosen. Yeah, we need an avatar that can handle us, but so that so he appears to be human.
Right, that's what you mentioned in the last life. You would appear to be human.
Yeah.
So you can project the conscious. So you don't have to be a baby. You just shapeshift into a full-grown human.
Yeah, this particular one, I've always kind of known this as Banks, but like that, like Banks was born as a human and then had a near death experience. He had a few near death experiences, and every time that happened, I was able to put a bit more of my consciousness into his avatar. And then the last near death experience where he crossed over, we had an agreement to fully integrate. Still Banks, but
More of his oversoul than his ego.
Yeah, it's like from this perspective, like we know everything we got to do. So I'm just projecting a bit of my understanding and knowledge and wisdom into you to help him as an instrument, to not to use him as an instrument, but to that we appreciate that what he can do with boots on the ground is so much more than what we can do. And we agreed to this integration. And that's why for him it felt like he was born again after that near death experience.
He's his true, authentic self, full, doesn't hide it anymore, huh?
Yeah. And we always knew this. We've been preparing him
And what is he here to do here on Earth with his mission now?
to break conditioning in the collective.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be hypnotized by limiting beliefs, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So the cage isn't physical, it's perhaps in their mind.
It is.
And so Jonathan's here to help people break through that with the subconscious. Banks is here to do his part in his own way, in his own style.
Yeah. And throughout his lifetimes, he's had, let's say, like just so many, he's been a mystic in so many lifetimes and has acquired so much information. And that's why, and this lifetime, a big part of what he does is delivering the message through metaphor. So that is truly eternal throughout space and time, no matter where you are, how you are, who you are, at different points in your life. If you listen to his music or his content, you'll get new messages every time because it's like codes within codes within codes.
Yeah, is one of the most effective ways to change is self-discovery, so it helps people discover it. Indirect suggestions and indirect codes, frequencies, his art, his voice.
He doesn't even know that like there's deeper, way deeper subconscious language and frequency in his art that touches people in a deep subconscious way that they don't even realize.
Absolutely wonderful, creating a positive impact, ripple effect. What should he focus on moving forward?
Music, 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 music. It's about creating space for like-minded people to finally find each other, and the vehicle is like the music.
From this perspective, are you on the ship and projecting your consciousness at the same time?
Yeah, we're omnipresent, kind of like a ceremony. Like you are capable of projecting your consciousness now into the earth beings. So it's more of a ceremonial thing, but it still requires like similar to how like the gurus on planet Earth kind of need to like be taken care of and like live in the temple and like, like have people like, do their laundry and like bathe them and feed them, but like they don't really have to like work for all of it. And it's similar like for us, like once we elevate to being able to project our consciousness into earthly beings, we kind of achieve like guru status to where all of our energy can kind of go into that and we don't have to worry about like the basic needs.
As you raise your vibration, the basic needs are survival, but you're past those lower chakras and you're into the higher ones. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it's almost like getting pampered. It's almost like wagyu beef, right? It's like they feed wagyu beef sake and they like massage sake into them like because they know it's going to be a really good beef. So it's kind of like the same thing. Like I'm pampered like royalty so that I can deliver that essence and worth to the avatar.
Yeah, he'll be taken care of as he fulfills his mission.
Yeah.
And is there anything conscious or unconscious holding Banks back from being more effective?
There's been a lot of stuff with just attachment. Like he knows because my consciousness is in him, and it's like so he knows that like non-attachment is the only way to truly experience unconditional love. But there are deep wounding from betrayal, and also just from his own disappointments of building up a vision of the future that couldn't possibly manifest because it's not what he truly wanted. It was like someone else's vision.
And so the best way to go about things moving forward is not like lower expectations, but do your best but no expectations, or how do we get past that?
When you're attached to nothing, you're connected to everything. He knows this. It's like the wandering monk is attached to nothing and connected to everything. Nothing can stop him. Nothing can hold him back.
Yeah, in the 3D world, don't we need to focus our attention on things and prepare and get better and improve? And sometimes we, yeah, get down on ourselves for not progressing faster.
Yeah, I think a lot of what Banks is dealing with in this lifetime is like residual heartbreak from past lifetimes. Kind of being kind of romanticizing life, which is a beautiful ability to do. But he romanticizes and holds on to that vision. It's almost like he meets the day. He does not meet the day as it is. He meets it as he wish it should be. And if when you keep doing that, eventually heartbreak comes.
But it's okay for him to imagine his ideal outcome, and he can manifest that most of the time.
Yes.
So, what would be a better balance for him?
He's beginning to understand how to love everything and fear nothing. He already knows it in principle. He's put it into practice, but it hasn't fully integrated yet.
Is there any modalities such as what we're doing today, or plant medicine, or anything he should do more of consistently?
Feng Shui. He hasn't dipped into. He's done a little bit of understanding into it, but that there's a connection with his brother with the Feng Shui, the yin and the yang, and like the energy movement and like the flow that he can get more out of through the study of that and the practice of that.
And that would be a good daily or habit to do more.
Yes, and he needs a water element in his room, like a fountain, a trickle of water.
Let's go to another important day, a lesson learning day, an important day where we can learn from right now.
I'm speaking with a romantic partner in this futuristic version of me. Well, it's like complete freedom. It's like everything I want without anything that I don't want. And it's like no jealousy, just like complete passion of like, there's an understanding of like, we want what's best for each other and for ourselves, regardless of that means that we stay together. It's like your highest timeline, my highest timeline, wherever they go is where we want them to go. If they intersect, great. If they don't, great. And in the meantime, as I provide her with protection and direction, vision, she provides me with inspiration, nurturing. Like she makes me bigger. She makes she like makes my visions bigger and then I can manifest them. It's like, it's deeper than a good mother or like anything like that. There's something here with like really inspiring me to expand and be the best version of myself. And I know that if she wants that for me, then she also practices that for herself. She doesn't pour into me more than she pours into herself. It's equal.
Does she project herself into people on Earth?
No. She's like a part of this pampering I was kind of talking about. It's like she like grounds me there and really protects me because she knows like what a big mission I'm on projecting my consciousness. But this has also made me realize that I thought there was going to be a connection here with like the girls that I've been romantic with here on Earth. And I believe the message I'm getting from this is that no, it's actually it's like my consciousness is projecting into all of them to manipulate the energy and experiences for Banks so that he can get the most out of the simulation. It's like working out his soul, his body, and his mind to finally become the ruler of his own reality and to influence the collective through being a leader based on leading by example. But so I'm saying like, there's infinite versions of us, and so like I just projected my consciousness into a version of Roxy to show Banks his shadow, essentially his antithesis. But I think that Banks thinks that it's like there's like a bigger romantic agreement like with Roxy's oversoul, and like of course there is, but it's less about her and it's more about Banks.
And what does this mean for Banks moving forward with romance and girls, and how should he look at romance and intimate partners?
Well, he kind of already knows this. We've talked to him about it before, even though he doesn't really know it's us. It's like that, like this role as like a mystic and a healer and a guide is a role of non-attachment. So, it doesn't mean like being like a slut or a whore or something like that. It just means that like your ability to love without attachment and expressing that fully is kind of like getting the experience points necessary to manifest his perfect opposite, as opposed to a distortion of his opposite
Earth, or when he goes back to where this.
on Earth.
And is that similar for Jonathan as well, with the no attachment, loving everyone fully and equally, and he'll have similar outcomes?
Yeah, because again, like the role as like the mystic or the guide, Jonathan, is like one of non-attachment. It's like if it's kind of like a mother and its child. It's like the mother has to let go of the child for it to be something. It can't let it be in the womb its entire life. It doesn't, it's not how it works. And it's like, and then at some point, the child has to go off to school. At some point, the child has to move out. At some point, it makes its own family. And it's like every one of these is it's practicing deeper into non-attachment. Like the only way that a system can be a system is if it lets go of itself, the illusion of separation. So in this moment, can you be fully immersed in love, knowing that it's fleeting always? And that's how we stay in it always, realizing that it never left. And so many people are afraid to love for 5 minutes, or people are afraid to like fall in love with somebody because then if that person leaves, then they feel empty, but that only comes from a place of not loving yourself and not feeling whole within yourself, so that you need something to complete you. So that's why this idea of non-attachment is like you're actually more fully immersed in love this way.
Yeah. And I've always felt, yeah, like I love everyone equally, so loving one person might be selfish.
Yes,
I
yes, it's
feel
very
like
good.
that.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
If I do love multiple partners in the future or whatnot, humans have emotions. Am I going to create karma for myself, or Banks if he does?
Karma can be changed by just simply having a change in your thinking, but that emotions are meant to be felt, but they're not meant to identify you. So, in a way, if you were to trigger people through your non attachment, that essentially would promote their own healing eventually. And that is the role of the mystic in many senses, is to trigger people.
Hey, we don't grow when we're comfortable. We grow through challenges. Help them make that shift, even if it's not easy.
Correct.
And is there any other messages about romance or love here on Earth? It seems to be pretty complicated, or we seem to complicate it.
It's as simple as loving yourself because everyone is you. There's no separation between you and the trees and the birds and your parents and your loved ones and the president of the United States and me and the sun and anything. There's no separation. So as you love yourself, you begin to see yourself in everything. It's much easier to love them since you already love yourself.
And Banks is there on that, or his higher self is there on this ship. And how many years will he live on that ship? Or is he in a place where time doesn't exist?
Yeah, time doesn't exist here.
And that ship is currently above us now, but we are
Mhm.
not able to see it or detect it.
Yes, it's in a different dimensional frequency.
Will Banks or Jonathan go through a portal at some point in their life?
Yes, Banks already has. He has a scheduled portal resurgence at the age of 79, to go to his younger self and tell him everything's okay. And he's already experienced that from that end, from the younger self portal.
He remembers consciously?
Yeah, when he meditated, he went through a portal and met his older self, and it was like an old eye, but it was his older self meditating in what he conceives as the future, going through a portal to meet his younger self, to tell him that everything's okay and that this is an initiation process of becoming a mystic.
And his younger self really appreciated that, huh?
It was very scary at the time.
And he'll do it again though when he's 79. Just
Yes. I mean, he goes through portals all the time, but this is a very important part of the timeline initiation.
beautiful. And we're in the ship. We're Getting lots of great information. Where should we go next? Where would you go next if you had an option, a choice? Where would you like to go next?
I'd like to go to my time as a Templar. Inklings.
Inklings? Okay, well, why don't we first go back to the cloud? So, leaving that ship, going to the cloud now. And you are that cloud, part of it, and it is part of you as it floats, drifts gently, just like a rocking chair, rocking you back and forth. As you let go, deeper with the next out breath. And this cloud goes through time and space as you focus in on that life as the Templar, the feeling, the knowing. We are there on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
This is funny because, like, I always thought that I was a Templar Knight, and immediately it showed me, nope, you are not a Templar Knight, but what you were was kind of like a Merlin to the Knights. Yeah, because I'm not a fighter. I've known this. I'm not a fighter. I've never been a fighter. I always saw it like very Buddhist in a way that, like, you can't end hate with hate. You can't end violence with violence. Nothing should, everything has the will to want to live and nothing wants to die. So why the fuck would you fuck with that? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so, yeah, they're talking a lot about it's like a secret society, like we're talking a lot about how we have to move artifacts. That this, the real deep mission for this isn't about like Christianity or the Holy Grail or anything like that. It's about Atlantis. It's about deeper esoteric knowledge that has to be hidden, not only so that we will not be prosecuted, but also so that only the worthy will understand the message. So it's like they have petitioned for me to write down certain things, but in poetic metaphor and also hidden within paintings and things like this.
Excellent. And what happens next?
Somebody comes in and says we have to move, and I'm constantly moving with them. Although I'm not a fighter, I am kind of a sexton, a protector of artifacts, and also, a record keeper. So as they move about collecting artifacts, protecting artifacts, oh, okay. And I'm also in charge of their money. Well, there's something here with my name being Banks, and the Templar Knights were a part of creating the modern day banking system. Like they uh, they started this thing where they were like, instead of traveling, hundreds of miles with the gold on me, I'm gonna give my gold to like this place, and then they write a letter and then send it to the place that I'm going to that basically says like I have this gold here, so when I go there I can get the gold and I don't have to travel with it.
Yeah.
And there's something like I came up with that idea. Yeah, it was like I was their banker, and then maybe I think we got robbed along this journey, and I was like, there's got to be a better way. So like that, in addition to the mystical teachings and writings and record keeping, kind of all part of the same thing. Kind of like an accountant, like mixed with like a magician.
Excellent. And so let's move forward to a moment where you're perhaps doing magic, practicing sorcery, or doing something mystical. 1, 2, 3.
In the middle of a forest, the Templar Knights are around a campfire. They're laying down, waiting to basically go to sleep for the night. And they don't see what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing basically like an orb coming out of the campfire. And as I'm manipulating the energy of the orb and loving it and watching it grow. And as I do this, all of the creatures from the forest begin to kind of like come and surround us. they're all nice creatures, nothing scary. We're talking squirrels and birds and deer, and there's also a majestic white stag that has come to me before in other dreams. There's something here about the animals of the forest are like spirit protectors for us, and me doing this energy kind of tai chi manipulation of this ball of energy that came out of the fire. All of the animals are in awe of it, but yet it's not the first time they've seen this magic before, and I'm very in tune with nature. I can speak to the animals and that kind of stuff.
And you waited till they all laid down to do this in your quiet time or silence where they wouldn't be.
Yeah, where they wouldn't be frightened, yeah, but still get the effects of the energy.
Yeah, and so you doing this on your own, and you're there, feeling the energy, the animals. What is this doing to the animals' spirits? Do animals have spirits, or is it like a group
They are
consciousness?
they are spirits.
Hmm. And so they're when you're captivating them, they're tapped into that spirit instead of just.
Yeah, this is, a way to draw in their awareness where before they're kind of just, when we're out in the jungle as like animals, we're kind of a part of the randomness, a part of the, let's say, a part of the structure of the forest. But as I do this magic, they begin to become self aware, and as units of consciousness of God, as they project their subjective realities all to the same one thing, it becomes an objective reality.
Yeah, and as you do this, feel the energy connect. And what is the purpose of this? Is it just for fun,
It's for
creativity?
protection. This is a very important group of men here that we protect.
How does it help protect them?
It's more about kind of like an initiation with the all, or like the consciousness, the awareness of like, look, like all of it, like I need you to look here. These men
I
know,
get it.
they know not how spiritual and mystical and magical this is. So protect them with this as they go into the terrible physicality of their mission.
Letting
You know
them
what I mean?
know how important the mission is,
Yes,
how important they
yeah,
are.
and like the magic of the spirit is the underlying energy of the physical realm. So it's kind of like, allow this underlying truth to be the protection, that manifests the physical. Protect them spiritually as they go into battle.
Yeah, okay, very good. So you're on this quest, you're doing this ceremony while the men are sleeping. And so you're on this journey. Or let's either continue on this journey when I snap my fingers, or go to another quest or journey that is very important. And so let's go there. One, two, three.
I'm on like a cliff. I'm on a cliff looking out at water. This feels like the Mediterranean kind of, but it's like I see a well, but the well is a metaphor. It's something about healing the chakras of the earth. It's like as I am helping these men on their physical journey, I find myself perfectly aligning with lay points and sacred sites to do a healing. So it's kind of like the mission is the compass, but the byproduct is healing the earth.
You're there, sensing the ley lines as a grid worker. You're doing some grid work with the energy
Yeah,
lines, so you can feel the energy when you're near those ley lines.
yeah.
And what do you do when you encounter the right spots?
I never know. Sometimes it's just like different as I interpret the energy, but it's kind of just like it's like I'm looking for signs and synchronicities that I've been told in visions, and just like making sure that like there's some type of synchronicity that has led me here to connect with that. It's like once I see that, then I know it's already done.
Okay, and is there any specific energy lines, sacred sites that are really powerful for your energy that you find?
Yeah, the pyramids in Egypt, the Temple Mount in Israel, the temples in Mexico. Easter Island is very important, and Stonehenge and like places like this. There's something in Sardinia too. Something in Sardinia with the giants.
And do you go to all these places on this quest eventually?
Yes. In that lifetime, by the time I'm with the Templars, I've already been to most of those places.
How do you get around to those places? Is it long journeys or portals or
Long journeys on foot and horseback.
and you know where to go without good maps and how do you navigate?
Well, there's always a purpose for going to these places. Again, it's like the mission is like I kind of just follow like the work, like what pays me kind of. And then like I find myself aligned with these places as I'm going to do these things. A lot of the work I do in this lifetime is like clearing energy at sacred spots. So I will get hired by rulers and monks and things like this to clear the energy in their sacred places and their vineyards and their where they play sports and stuff, whatever. I'll get paid to go do these kind of things, and then I find myself near these sacred spaces, and I use the opportunity because I know how deep the energy is. I use the opportunity to go there and meditate.
And let's continue on this journey, this quest, and be at your destination, the next sacred place on three. One, two, three.
We're at the Temple Mount. This is in Jerusalem.
And what's happening?
Well, there's layers. What the public sees of this place is not nearly the truth, and like as we can gain more access, we go deeper and deeper, find that there's deep caves, underwater caves that run underneath the Temple Mount, and it's a part of this conductor. It's kind of like a battery for planet Earth. And
How ancient is that? Did someone build it or how did it get there?
reptilians built it
And they were here inhabiting Earth before human?
way before.
And why did they something happen and they left or stayed underground?
Now they go underground.
And they're there probably even now.
Yeah, that's one of the entrances there. This is also why there's a lot of conflict there. On the surface, it appears to be humans playing out conflict, but there's actually way deeper conflict going on. And so it has to be masked by human war, but that's not actually what's going on.
Okay. Well, we'll go back to where you are now. You're in near the mouth of the temple in Jerusalem.
Mm.
And what happens next? Do you so continue?
Yeah, they let me in to go to where the artifacts are. And the artifacts are basically like deep, deep, deep within this temple. So not where the people worship or anything. Like we're talking like we're going underground into kind of like underground libraries and stuff like that, and also catacombs and stuff like that. And there's a point at which it's like the water table kind of. And it's very green, like almost lit up like with like cavernous kind of green water. And this is where humans can't go any farther because it requires both, technology like scuba gear and stuff like that, but also spiritual technology, mystical, energetic technology to cross worlds.
Yeah. And so you're there though, and you know magic. And so what do you do? Do you go?
No, I don't go farther, but I bless the water, and I tell, you know, in this lifetime, I learned that there is no evil, only darkness and light, and that the darkness simply wants to be seen. So I bless the place, I bless the entrance, and I let all entities know that, I love them. I'm not afraid of them. I'm curious about them. I want to see them. I want to understand them. I don't judge them. I'm not afraid. And this is kind of my mission in this incarnation as like this Merlin type character to see the monsters and to love them and cherish them.
And they feel your energy when you're there. They can sense that you're almost near the entrance,
Yeah.
but the water stops you. Can you meditate and go deeper out of body, astral traveling?
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe you can do that now
Mm.
and see what happens and where you go under the water.
Yeah, they actually welcome me in. Again, it's not like I've, the reptilians, a lot of people have like negative connotations with them because they are so ferocious and they can be beacons of what we describe as evil, but they welcome me in because they know that I know them and I don't judge them.
Yeah, they're just different. We're all different. No judging. So you get welcomed in. Then what?
So they have a world within our world, an inner sun kind of a thing. And there is some conflict between them and the tall whites that are more humanoid, more benevolent in a way. But there's a yin and yang thing, they clash because they're both right and they're both wrong. The tall whites just kind of believe in heaven on earth and purity, which is one truth. But the reptilians also recognize that with pure unity, pure order, there's not enough diversity. So much of this conflict on planet Earth comes from this dualistic battle of wanting pure heaven, pure unity, everyone to think the same and feel the same.
Hmm.
And then its opposition of understanding that diversity is necessary for growth and for uniqueness. And that's really what they represent. And so as they fight internally in the earth, it gets manifested outward as humans fighting over the same stuff, basically.
Yeah, it's almost as though if it was all just love and light, we wouldn't grow because we wouldn't have diversity or challenges or our own style or anything.
Yeah, and they show me how, like, the gray aliens are an example of what happens when we become too unified, that, they've lost their ability to even reproduce because there's no male and female, there's no black and white, there's no contrast. They've become so much alike that life is sterile, basically.
The reptilians have?
The Greys. The
Oh,
reptilian showed me this about the Greys.
they're two alike, so it's no male and female, no fun, no they're sterile, no
There's
danger.
no like, oh, you're different. They don't have that. There's like because there's a fine line. Oh, you're different. How amazing is that? Oh, you're different. That scares me. It's also scary, which is why we want to unify and everybody's afraid of so many things. It's all an illusion.
Okay. So you're there underground with the reptilians though, not the greys. And
Correct.
and you're there and they're kind of showing you all this, showing you.
Yeah, so like there's a tall white and a reptilian, and they're like, they're showing me that like, look, like we don't agree, and here's why we don't agree. That doesn't mean that we hate each other.
Why doesn't one of them just leave Earth and one of them
There's no
stay?
place to go.
There's no other planets to go to?
Planets, not in the way that we have been conditioned to believe with science.
So they've been here so long that they like adapted to our frequency and conditions, so they can't leave.
When it comes to the physical plane, Earth is all that there is. The physical plane, like a stage, like an infinite flat Earth kind of, but it's not flat really. It's frequency. There's an inside and an outside. But that physical reality is like a thin layer of all the dimensions, and but physical reality is a dope place to come to because it's like sensational through the nervous system. Everything's here and now. There's no other place to be physically.
Mm. They're both so advanced they want to make Earth in their vision, and they're both disagreeing.
Yes.
What's the How does your conversation go from here? Or does it end and you go back, or what happens?
Yeah, they show me a lot of interesting stuff. A lot of their technology is non-physical or natural. Yeah, like they manipulate energy to work together rather than creating laws that keep them apart. So, like, their housing is one with the trees and the mountains and everything else. There's no separation. And they also just show me that, like, this is why, okay, so like Atlantis and all of these ancient civilizations, advance this way spiritually, which is why there's no physical traces of them because as technology becomes more advanced, it becomes less physical.
Yeah, as we grow spiritually, we'll be less dense bodies and we'll be more light body.
Yeah, it's just like from the horse and buggy to the automobile to the skateboard. It's like it gets smaller and smaller, less physical.
And is there any technology there that you bring back with you or you can replicate when you get back that you'd like to use for our highest good?
It's more about that even though they really don't get along, they live in harmony. It's like we don't get along. We understand this. Acceptance of that, not like we don't get along, so I'm going to hurt you because of it. It's like if you feel this way, you live there. If you feel this way, you live there. And like if you change your mind, you can do that too and go live somewhere else. And it's not like
So they're there in the inner earth. How does their emotions and struggles affect us here on earth? Are they doing anything to help us or manipulate us or
well, yeah, we're all connected. So like, and because like everything is here and now, we have this warped understanding of time that like things came before and then this happened, this happened. And it's like it's all actually happening here and now. So it's like, and we're all one. They're kind of like our predecessors, or an example of our extremes. What would happen if we were completely controlled by our emotions, and what would happen if we were completely stoic and unhinged from them? And they are like perfect manifestations of those extremes. So the fact that they can be in such extremes and still accept one another is the reason why it works.
okay. And that's something us humans could learn better is to accept one another like they do.
Yes, even though I don't understand, or no, even though I could never be the way that you are, I can understand why you are the way that you are and I accept it.
Okay. Very good. And is there anything else from them before we go back out of the cave system?
They don't let me come back with no artifacts or anything like that. It's more just to show me a new perspective of how things could be.
Very good. So we'll leave the cave system. And when you get done meditating, was it like instant? Do your men wonder why you've been meditating that whole time? Or,
No, they know exactly. Well, they don't know exactly, but they know how important my work is and that it's magical. It's kind of like they can't really comprehend it because again, these men are physical men designed to be warriors. Their capacity is for that.
they let you meditate there for however long it took. Now you're done and you're back
Mm.
and your eyes are open and you can go out of the cave system.
Yeah.
So it was a successful mission in some ways.
Yes, definitely.
As we continue and this magical journey, we have enough time for perhaps one or two more important moments. And so let's go to the next most important day or scene from that night life as a Templar. So let's go to another important scene now.
So I'm talking with it's a spiritual leader like a pope kind of, but he's got a lot of power. And I'm pleading with him to stop the wars over Christianity because it's like it's all fake. It's all fake. It's not really what it's about and like they're putting on this they're brainwashing the people to make them believe that like this is a spiritual war when it's just men being babies, like rich, powerful men basically not having hobbies, not knowing how to heal themselves, not understanding how fun this could all be. just wanting more and more and more. And I'm just like, dude, like you can only sleep in one bed at a time. You can only be in one room of your palace at a time. Like there's so much to share with everybody else. And yeah, it's like after I got that message from the reptilians and the talls, it was like this was the first place that I went to, was like back to the Vatican or something like that, to be like, we're doing this all wrong.
Oh, good, good. So the message you got from the place we were at was
Yeah.
important. So you went back to the Vatican, and now what's happening? You're
Yeah, I'm like kneeling down to him, explaining just like this new revelation that like we can disagree and still harmonize. And basically, he's saying like that he knows this, but that it's like too late. There's too many players in this game. There's too many people who have already benefited from the war, that at this point we just have to keep up the facade of the story.
and you're able to communicate though with him what you experienced.
Yeah. And he's not even surprised. He's just like, yeah, that makes sense.
And what is his mission to? What is he doing? What year is this? Why are they pushing this war?
Yeah, so this is like during the Crusades. So the Crusades were like this whole thing of like basically with force going across Europe to implement Christianity and to protect Christians.
Didn't they attack spiritual people?
Yes.
Like witch, they called them witches, and they did mean things to them.
Yeah, like anybody that was against the establishment of Christianity was persecuted. And that's why it was also a very interesting thing for me, because I was of this alternate mystical magical world, and yet like the powers that like are really running it knew that like this shit's real, but knew that they had to make an example of certain witches and certain warlocks and certain things, because they're pushing this narrative to really influence and put upon the world this blanket of Christianity. And that has to do with basically the power of the church. And the church just basically became more powerful than the monarchy. So to keep that power, it needed to continue to spread the gospel by force.
Well, you did all you could do from that higher self, higher perspective. So he didn't listen. Then what do you do?
Well, it's just like a lot of frustration of like, it's like these people have the ability, but they just keep on making excuses.
So what do you do next?
Well, I do all that I can do, which is continue to write my metaphors and secret messages about the truth, so that when those that are ready to receive the message awaken, they can find it.
Yeah, is there any books or scrolls that you've written that we can find?
Yeah, the Codex of Harmony, and there's something about if we look for an owl, kind of like a stamp or like a seal that has an owl on it from the times of the Crusades, that was my moniker.
And beautiful. Did you hide any books or scrolls in a secret spot we could find?
Yeah, most of them are in the Vatican now, but some of them are still hidden in caves and places like that. But also, it might not be from this lifetime, but there's stuff uh, pertaining to Hermeticism that I wrote a lot of.
Well, should Banks search for those to remember those, or can he remember those by himself?
It would be fun for him to discover them again. Just a reminder, an Easter egg to find your ancient names hidden in ancient scrolls is always fun.
All right, very good. So, what we'll do next is we'll go to one more day in that lifetime, one more important day, whether that's at a ancient site, doing something important for him, a book, whatever it is. Let's go to one more important day. One, two, three.
I'm sitting up against a tree in a field of like golden wheat is in front of me, but I'm sketching a woman that I'm looking at. She's very majestic and whimsical. She's like physical, but almost feels like a spirit.
Who is this woman to you?
She's a muse.
And how would you describe what a muse is?
It's an inspirational longing. It's like something I can't ever like. I can get it, but I can't hold on to it. And that's like the force that drives us forward, kind of in a way.
But you're getting the sketch down at least on the paper.
Hmm. It's about like capturing the beauty that she is a projection of that attractiveness. And the act of capturing that and putting it to paper is like the manifestation, manifesting something about manifestation. Like getting really in line with that idea of like she is the muse. So I create this art using her as inspiration, but really the art is just capturing the natural attractiveness and beauty that is all things. She's like a finite description of that, so it can be captured and released, of course.
And what's the overall lesson of this moment?
Yeah, it's that like the reason I used to I kind of look at a muse like a bad thing that like I long for it because I don't have it, but it's like that's actually the goal is to not possess things, is to appreciate this moment manifest of beauty and to integrate it, not attach, connected to everything, let it be free, but I can call upon it whenever I need to because it's in everything.
Any other messages, deeper meanings?
I learned in that lifetime that my devotion is not to a single entity or woman, but to the divine feminine. My devotion is to her in all her forms, however she presents herself to me, to allow her to become the most evolved version of herself.
And do we know how we passed away or died, death scene in that lifetime? Or would we like to do that or just move to the cloud?
Yeah, why not?
The last day of that lifetime, the last day now.
So I'm alone at a campfire and the animals come around, but I'm totally chill with it. Like I know it's all good. I just wish that I had a woman with me, but that I also recognize that it not being with me is that pull to the next dimension. That muse again. It's like it's in everything
How does not having a woman with you pull you further to the next dimension?
because that's where she is.
And that'll help you travel there and back.
Yeah.
And do you choose to leave your body consciously?
Yes.
And so go through that experience, what that's like. Once you're out of the body, moving back to the cloud, you can explain what is that like.
Well, it's scary to leave behind that which is my personality and my ego and my experience and my story. It's scary to leave that behind, but as soon as you do, there's nothing left but God. And it's like this full panoramic understanding and compassion of all things. So the moment that you're like, oh, I'm a little scared to leave this story behind, and you realize, oh, that wasn't a big deal. Like taking off a tight shoe.
And then where do you go next? Are you
Oh, I momentarily return to source just to have that, um, just to have that reference point. I got a lot of missions to do down here, so I don't spend too much time with, too much time in the awareness of source, even though I know I never left. But it's like return to source momentarily to become the answer of all things, and then remember, oh yeah, I want to go and have some fun again.
so in the
And
spirit
oh,
world, it's kind of neutral. When you're here on earth, it's fun.
in the spirit world, there's nothing to experience other than myself amongst myself infinitely, which is beautiful and pure order and euphoric, but there's nothing to do.
So when you have form, it's you can experience more ups and
Yes,
downs.
duality creates form, and form allows for experience.
Absolutely. And were you proud of that life that you took part in?
Yeah.
You did. You got praise, and your spirit friends were happy for you.
Yeah, but it's like I also it's like when you go into that place, it's like you instantly recognize that like None of it mattered either. It's like everything matters, nothing matters. Why not? Whatever. But it's like it
Karma.
always matters because all the data collected gets sent back to source, which then can create more experience in the physical and other dimensions. So like it all matters, but in that place, because it all matters, it feels like nothing. And then you have to come back to physical to get this reference again. It's like there's a lot of people out here collecting data for source. Obviously, we all are, but some of us are collecting more fascinating data.
Okay, very good. And what we'll do next is we can move back to the cloud, the beautiful cloud, and we will continue our path and we'll disconnect with any other beings or whatnot that we were connected with. Thank you for much love, much thanks for the information we've been seeing. And so the full consciousness of Banks can return, fully integrating back into his body, just moving slow at first, replacing all other parts we were speaking to. And you should be very proud of the wonderful work you've done today. Over the next few days and weeks and months, you'll be more confident, motivated, balanced, and disciplined to pursue your life mission. Your brilliant subconscious mind will guide and lead and help you follow your life purpose, tapping into that true authentic self that lets it shine out, overcoming any obstacles, finding a way. By trusting the universe, less worries, more time to be in the moment, waking up refreshed, sleeping wonderful tonight. I'll count up from 1 to 5. We'll come back slowly on the count of 1. Coming back slowly.
Yeah, you know it's all just physical. In the energetic realm, we can make it mystical. Don't fight it, let the spiritual and like a river flow. Then you will see the miracles unfolding. Can't you feel it?